Welcome into the Cowboys Report. I am Tom Downey, and as we've all expected, we do have some news to discuss on today's show. The Dallas Cowboys have released 4 players following the 2025 NFL Draft in order to get down to for them, it's 91-man roster limit. This was the expected number after the Cowboys had reportedly signed 9 undrafted free agents. They have not officially signed them yet. That should be coming in the pipeline in a matter of hours, frankly. We'll break down all the releases, one of which does actually surprise me at least a little bit there. We are 18 subs away from 1,400,000. Help us get there. Get more free YouTube videos right here on the Cowboys Report by subscribing. Let's break down these Cowboys cuts here. The biggest and prime most notable, the one I think most of you guys are going to recognize name-wise, is Malik Davis. The running back has been released by the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys drafted 2 of them over the past weekend. They have Deuce Vaughn. They have others. Davis has had chances in the past to kind of hang around, bounce around, make it the NFL team, play for the Cowboys. He played, most notably, 12 games back in 2022. He actually averaged 4.2 yards per carry. He's kind of hung around as a practice squatter in the past for the Cowboys, but he was always behind Deuce Vaughn. He was always kind of like that 6th running back on the roster. And given the fact that Deuce Vaughn is going to play a lot in the preseason, Jaden Blue is going to play a lot in the preseason, Phil Maffa, the team's 7th-round pick, is going to play a lot in the preseason and training camp. Plus, they'll probably get Javonte Williams and Miles Sanders a ton of run as well. And they've got Lipke as a fullback who can do some running back stuff. Seems that the Cowboys simply didn't think they needed an additional running back on the, for them, 91-man roster, since Denzel Daxton is a bonus player as an international player pathway guy. I am kind of surprised the Cowboys cut Davis. I had wondered if maybe they go in a different direction. We had mentioned like 10 names or something on a recent video of like guys that are on the bubble. We got 3 out of the 4 right. Davis was the only one we did not get correct on the potential candidates. So be honest with me at the pinned comments of today's show. Are you surprised the Cowboys chose to cut running back Malik Davis? Why for yes and for no? Let me know in the pinned comment. That's what the ad comes here on YouTube. The ad comes, ignore it, take advantage. Head down to the pinned comment and go vote. One of 2 offensive linemen who have been released by the Dallas Cowboys, offensive tackle Earl Bostick Jr., who years ago, back in the 2023 undrafted free agency class, was actually one of the biggest signing bonuses, guaranteed money, that the Cowboys gave out to undrafted free agents. But as we'll get into with the other name they cut, Jack Anderson, by the way, along with Brock Mogensen, who we'll get to later at the end of the show, the numbers game along the offensive line was too real. You had 15 players from the draft picks. There actually were no undrafted free agents. Once the Cowboys drafted Tyler Booker and Najani Cornelius, it's 17 offensive linemen on the roster. And they already go 3 deep. And guys that can play tackle like Matt Let's-Go, like Nathan Thomas, Hakeem Adeniji offers some guard flexibility that I don't think Bostick ever really offered. The best case for Bostick was that he once again kind of found his way to the practice squad after he kind of battled injuries earlier in his career. 6'6", 310. Wouldn't be shocked to see him and Malik Davis, really all these guys, latch on to a different roster somewhere else. But it seems like the time in Dallas is coming to an end. We mentioned Davis, mentioned Earl Bostick Jr. Jack Anderson is the latest player to be released by the Dallas Cowboys. Again, not overly shocking. Anderson has been a career journeyman, by the way. He actually initially signed to the Cowboys practice squad at the end of January, right before the end of the season, then got a futures contract. He has been the definition of a journeyman. Texas Tech draft pick by the Buffalo Bills, doesn't make the roster. Goes to Philadelphia, goes to the Giants, Indy, Jacksonville, Carolina, has a chance to latch on with the Commanders, who still want to be the Cowboys so bad, and complete the NFC East career journeyman tour. Anderson was a guard for the Cowboys. They have Tyler Smith. They have Tyler Booker. They have Robert Jones. They have T.J. Bass. Brock Hoffman can play guard. Sadiq Charles, Hakeem Adeniji, Nathan Thomas have played guard/tackle. It didn't make sense for the Cowboys to have 17 offensive linemen. They can sit the entire first unit in the preseason and not have to worry about, okay, well, who the heck's going to be out there? I think the Cowboys' strategy for a lot of the offseason was to sign guys like Hakeem Adeniji, like Sidney Charles, and not address the UDFA side of the offensive line class. So with 17 players it was too many on the offensive line. It is a bit disappointing for a guy that was from Plano, went to Frisco High School, to not kind of get real game action for his hometown team. But the math was simply not mathing, especially more than any spot on this Cowboys team on the offensive line. Now, you can go bigger names for this question if you want to, but who would you have cut if you ran the Cowboys? You had to make room for 4 after signing 9 undrafted free agents and drafting 9 players. Who would you have cut if you ran the Dallas Cowboys team and you were in charge of making decisions? Let me know in the comments section of today's show. The final player the Cowboys have released, one defender. It is Brock Mogensen. Elite name, by the way. The former South Dakota undrafted free agent back in 2024. He did not make the Cowboys 53-man roster after being an undrafted free agent. He spent the entire season on the practice squad. I think there is an outside chance, an outside possibility that in some capacity, Mogensen does kind of find his way back to the Dallas Cowboys roster, closer to training camp. The reason I say that is we're not labeling it yet on the depth chart. We'll probably make those changes in the near future. DeMarvion Overshown is not going to be ready to go for week 1. That does, however, still leave 8 linebackers on this Dallas Cowboys depth chart. Kenneth Murray, Maurice Liufau, Shamar James, Damone Clark, Jack Sanborn. All of them added in recent years except for Damone Clark. Darius Harris, who was brought back right after the year ended on what amounts to like it was a veteran futures deal, basically. Like, he's got no guaranteed money. Buddy Johnson. The Cowboys did sign Justin Barron, who offers really good special teams potential and upside there. You're probably going to just play a lot of those younger players at linebacker in the preseason. Like, you're going to give Liufau some reps. Shamar James will probably end up playing a ton. So I'm not shocked that Mogensen, who was in a way, all these guys, Malik Davis, Earl Bostick, Jack Anderson, Brock Mogensen, they're all kind of previous regime players. Schottenheimer was here for Davis. He was here for Bostick. He was here for Anderson. But it's still a different-ish offense. Bostick and Anderson's a different offensive line coach. That's all new. Mogensen's got all new linebackers coaches, all new defensive coordinators, all new defensive players, a new special teams coach. So there is enough change that some of those holdovers, so to speak, are in the end a little bit different. And not shocking to see kind of this very back end of the roster get shuffled out. That is it for us today here. We broke down the 4 cuts here for the Dallas Cowboys. As a reminder, if you haven't already done so, do me a favor, help us out, hit that sub button at youtube.com/@CowboysTV. Back live again on Thursday for you guys here on the Cowboys Report.